Mamuina akwaba at the back into TV94. Saying a Bekaya, dear Emma MP Pamanyukunu, Elusu, the December 7th general election, pound to me anchor. Now we are galamse who sends him infimo. Number 2, the dollar to CD rate ratio no, and after LGBTQ who sends some Anna El Costu El Mashibuji fee. These are one of the 3 main important things every Ghanaian decided to be. Number 2, Abani Etia, the NPP party. Anyasem Kitwa. The seminal cassette for the Christian Organization Council Abora Jubilee House dending at the ßrèak Keseda to ancestry John Dramani Mahama ni Adentiana because with ancestry John Dramani Mahama on the side of Sam George Okude to Ablakwa Keka Assembly concerning LGBTQ who says some Anna El Coso or your manga the Muase and Kebanka. Sense na another Kufa do efo na nsi fam na so anya den so mu gidi pass it so mu ba be mu a we make sure say LGBTQ won sensem a tiatese o my Ghana mu hanu we make sure so be bibie fi ho na bibia akoye kama na anti LGBTQ bill no ssc John Dramani Mahama be sign fefefe na so native for asofo omko Jubilee House e den simbia betodwa anya asem keto asenti se die ssc John Dramani Mahama na no na o de kasa no ase edane dan ene or cast some for concerning LGBTQ or chances or cast some for so muhu at the code potia SSC John Dramani Mahama ekebim na say same date for any papa and asem so can ku tie sama o mo kanom de tu
on the National Cathedral. The National Cathedral Board of Trustees ordered an audit into the accounts of the National Cathedral. The audit was published, and there were some issues that bubbled out of the audit. But there are two kinds of audit. There's a normal audit that you yourself choose your auditor and ask him to come and audit you. And then he audits and presents the report to you. There's that kind of auditor. Then there's the auditor who is asked to come and do a forensic audit. And so we got a copy of the audit that had been commissioned by the Board of Trustees. And as president, I directed that a forensic audit be conducted. We want to know what happened. Before we go forward, we must know what happened. And so we're waiting for the report of the forensic audit. Once that forensic audit has been done, then we can decide what the way forward is. I am a Christian, and I believe that building a house where we can worship God is a good thing. I contributed as one of the chief fundraisers for my own Assemblies of God church building where I worship at Ringway Gospel Center. And I built 10 rural, we call them temples, in 10 villages for the Assemblies of God church. Of course, I solicited support from different people, and we built them. They have quarters for the pastor. He's got his bedroom, he's got his kitchen, he's got his living room, and then we have the church hall that can seat up to about 150 people. And so I do believe in building, an interdenominational place where we can worship. But it must be done in consultation with all of us. All of us must decide, how we want to do it, what the scope is, and how much it should cost. I believe that at this time and age, with all the problems we have, $400 million to build a cathedral is excessive. I know Nigeria have built an ecumenical center, and I've been there. It's a decent, beautiful place, and they built it for $40 million. And so maybe some of the things are excessive, Let's find somewhere, all of us, on National Day of Thanksgiving and Worship, we can all go there and worship God and thank Him for what He has done for us. And so when that forensic audit is over, our intention is to have a broad-based consultation with the Christian community to see how we can build a place that is decent for us to worship. But apart from that, make it a center where people can come and look at its architecture and all that, and find that Christ, has a place in our hearts, in our nation. And so when the time comes, we'll do that consultation, and we'll decide together how we want to go forward. Before I became president, had indicated that we're going to take the fight against corruption to a whole new level. And it's not anything personal against anybody. I have said several times that our problem in the fight against corruption is that it is always post-regime corruption that we fight. And so when a government is in office, when scandals are taking place, they don't deal with them. And so they leave it until a new government comes. And when that government comes and starts investigating the cases of corruption, then the previous government says, oh, you are witch hunting us. This is political persecution. But I've said notice to my ministers, ask them every day in cabinet, I remind them. I say the prosecutions that we're taking against the current government will be ties the first person who brings a scandal to this government. We shall hang them on a cross. And you follow our Lord Jesus Christ, that you cannot resurrect again. And so I keep warning them that Aba Yedebo Techi and One Yedebo Boba. But we must deal with the corruption that has taken place. And my belief is that if we want our people to continue to have faith in our democracy, then we must show that the political elite is capable of governing accountably. Because by the time we went to the 2024 elections, most of our young people and our people were like, oh, even elections, it's a waste of time. You go and vote and people will just come and misuse our money. If we don't let our people believe that we can govern this country and govern it accountably and hold people to ransom who have misused government resources, then we can go the way other countries have gone. And that's why I said before the election, and I was misinterpreted, I said Ghana is not immune from coup d'etats. If the political class does not get its act together, it is possible that there could be a military coup or a civilian uprising. And civilian uprisings are worse than military coups because they end up in chaos and anarchy. If you look at what happened in Sri Lanka or somewhere, when the people had had enough, they overran the government, the prime minister ran away. They entered the prime minister's house, they were swimming in his swimming pool and opened his fridge and were drinking his drinks and eating his food. That is worse than a coup d'etat. And so for me, I said that my mission is to use the mandate Ghanaians are giving me to move Ghana to a level where anybody who comes after cannot reverse the gains that we have done. And then people come to me and say, oh, but oral is too slow, the investigations and prosecutions are too slow and all that. But the point is, we have military and revolutionary days. A person, even whatever they say the person has done, the person must have his day in court. And the judge must look at the evidence and decide whether he's guilty or not guilty. Society can condemn the person as guilty, but when you present the facts in court, the judge might have a different opinion. And so, even though, I'm sure most Ghanaians would want us to have one big courts, this thing, put them in, and then in 1 week we dispatch your case and then straight to Nsawam and just keep dispatching them. We have a constitution and we must follow the process. And you don't just get up and take the person to court because you believe he's committed a crime. You must gather the evidence. Because however guilty you think a person is, if you don't gather the evidence and you just rush a case to court,